Hey guys, and welcome back to the podcast. So today, I have got Sanaya on the podcast, and we're going to have a little chat, and just go through some bits to do with kind of competing.
Good if you could talk throughout this podcast.
Oh God, competing, and just kind of how you got into competing. So anyway, do you want to do a bit of an intro and just go through your life, where you're at, who you are, etc., and we'll go from there?
Yeah, of course. So those who don't know me, I'm Sni Kelly, as Leah obviously introduced me as. And basically, me and Leah have actually go quite a long way away because we actually competed in the same year last year. So to strip it all the way back, I started my bodybuilding journey about actually 3 years ago, pretty much dead on. And I competed in, what year was it? 2021?
I've lost track. Was it last year?
Yeah, I think it was last year. I was 20 when I competed. So I'm 20.
I can't believe.
So
I feel like a granny next to you.
A week after the finals, which was a disaster because my food focus was ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, competed in 2021 last year. Yeah. I did the PCA first timers in September. I won my class, which was toe ticker short. And then I went on to winning the overall, which was a shock more than anything. And then I went on to do the British finals and then became the tall British champ, and obviously Leah becoming the short British champ at the same time. Within that time frame, I also started uni, and I'm still currently in uni. I'm in my last year. And a year ago, pretty much a year and a month ago, I also started Sni Fitness Posing. I'm a posing coach, and I've helped over a couple hundred girls throughout their posing. I've probably gotten about, 50 to 60 girls on stage in terms of their posing. So yeah, it's been, this year especially, has been quite crazy. But other than that, I'm a posing coach. I go to uni. That's about it with my life. And I train and I bodybuild. That's about it, to be honest. There's not much more to it.
Can you remember, right, at the British Champs when we were sat next to each other on I think it was when we were waiting to register. It was the night before, or maybe it was to get the tan. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I figured out we're in the same category, and I was like,
No, I was the same because I saw your Instagram and the way that you take your check-ins, I'm like, she's taller than me. She's going to be in the tall category. You walked in and I literally dropped. I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck.
That's what I was like.
Fuck. Because up until, oh my God, do you remember the chaos backstage on the finals? Because I looked at my number and I looked at your number. You were like 90 something.
Yeah.
I was 100 and no, you were like 120 or something.
You got moved up.
I was 156 and Ella was 155 and then and then Meg was 150 something. And I was like, hold on. And we were trying to work out the alphabet.
Yeah.
I'm short. I was like, I'm short. I'm 162 centimeters. And I was like, I'm sure I'm like with you. Like, why is my number next to you? And then I went and asked, and they moved me up to tall because I was literally
on the border,
162 tall, under 162 short in the finals. And so I thought I was up against you literally until 10 minutes before I probably stepped on stage, and I shit myself. I was like, I don't have it because she looks mint. And then I realized I wasn't against you, and I was like, ugh.
You know what, actually, with that, I think we're like half a centimetre apart from each other in height. So I think we were literally on the border, because the same thing, right? You said you got me. The same thing happened to me backstage in university this year. So I was like, they called all the numbers out for sure, and I was like, why haven't I been called? And when you're like, I was literally so
I registered. What's going on?
Yeah, because I was like, this is like my first time in this category and I'm not in the right height class. And they were like, oh, we've moved you into tall because there's too many people in short. I was like, yes, but I'm short. And they were like, no, you're in tall. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I was like, I'm going on. And we walked on, and I just followed them on.
Did you?
I was like, I'm not doing tall, because when you like have it in your head that you're in short.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in short, and then you get moved, and I was like, no, because I was like, this isn't fair, because I'm in short.
But it's a benefit, you know, it's a benefit
Yeah, but I
because
didn't want to be in tall.
the shorter you are, like the less
I know, but I just wasn't mentally prepared for it.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough, though. Fair enough. You did pretty fucking well, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Oh gosh.
Honestly, that was such a whirlwind. It is crazy though, because they should really stick to it, because it was very confusing. Because I'm sure one day and 3 weeks later I'm tall, and it's like, well, I'm not being funny, but I haven't grown since anything I've done. So, but no, that was a massive relief to me. So thank you for that, because genuinely, when I genuinely thought you were really tall. Genuinely.
Everyone thinks that, you know. Do you get that all the time, right, with competing? So someone meets you, right, and they've only seen you on social media, and they meet you, and they're like, oh my God, I thought you were like massive and hench and really tall and, you know, like loads bigger. And I get this all the time. I bet you do as well. And people are like, oh my God, you're so much smaller than I thought. It literally all the time, not just in height, but in terms of like size as well. They're like, oh, I thought you were like really massive.
No, never had that. But I wear like, I feel like I don't look that big on social media. Like your delt, I feel like it's just your proportions, because your delts are like fucking here, like in the frame big. Like it's when you're softer, you have nothing. Like you have no doubts. Like
like I literally have no doubt now. I'm literally just
okay.
No, but you know what I mean though. Like, you know, when you like lean, I feel like you look loads bigger than what you are.
Oh yeah, because I don't know about you, but I hold a lot of fat in my arms. So as soon as I'm lean, I'm like, oh wow, I actually have delts. But as soon as I gain weight, it comes to my arms, and it's like it's straight down. I mean, you can see now, like there's no like
there's no like shoulder cap.
Yeah, I feel like with you, like, is Will tall?
No, he's not actually that tall. So I think he's like 5. Oh my God, I don't even know how tall he is. It's that bad. He's like 5. How tall am I? I'm like 5'4.5". So I think he's like maybe 5'8".
This is the thing, right? Because this is why I think I wouldn't get it as much as you do, because I see Will as tall and you're almost a similar height. Like I would think that Will's tall. People see Reese, he's quite tall and I'm quite short in comparison. So I feel like you can understand the height ratio because of Reese. If I was maybe on my own on social media, maybe I would look a lot taller, but I think because where I take photos with Reese and he's a lot taller than me, it makes me look small.
Will's not tall, and now I've got platform slippers, so I feel like we just look exactly the same height.
Yeah, you're short and I'm tall.
So right, with that competition that we did, so the British last year, so you actually excuse me, you actually did that quite soon, because that was basically your first season, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah, I had never, that was my second ever show and my last ever show.
Which is mad. So when you got into competing, because obviously I competed like a couple of years before, so I was already like, that wasn't my first kind of season. So when did you decide you wanted to like compete? How did you get into competing? Because I've seen your first photos, what you posted before with like Tom, which is like mad, because that wasn't actually that long ago.
No, it really wasn't, and it's quite scary. Like I look back and I'm like, what? Like I don't remember that. Like it feels like a lifetime ago. And I just think I've always been into sports. I was a sprinter. I was also really into like, you know, like rugby and all that kind of stuff in school. Like, I was always active. And I think I had kind of like a good, and I was one of those girls where I'd go to the gym, I'd do cardio, glute kickbacks and all that kind of stuff. I do like your average kind of girl. So I wasn't someone who'd never been into sports before and then kind of just went into training and bodybuilding. Like I almost had that like baseline. Like my dad was in the army, my auntie's really into her training. So I've almost always been directed into like some kind of sport, and I'm very competitive, and that obviously comes with sport. And so basically I then met one of my ex-boyfriends on social media who was into bodybuilding, and basically from that point I didn't live with him, but I was with him a lot, and I lived his kind of ways because I'd eat meals at the same time as him. I went through his first ever prep with him, and I just lived the lifestyle because I was with him for so long, because it was the time where I wasn't I think it was where I wasn't at school. I don't know. I just had a lot of time, summer holidays with him, and he was with Tom. He's one of Tom's ex-clients now, I think, or whatever. I don't know what's going on with him. But that's how he introduced me to Tom, because I saw the girls. I don't know if you know, like Rachel Dillon. She's like the WMBF girl, bikini, like show girl kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I think it's really cool.
Like the one that's like where they've got all the cool outfits and stuff.
Yeah, like all the glitzy stuff. Yeah. And then I was like, actually, no, I want to be a power lifter, because I love squatting, I love benching, I love to deadlift. And that was all I kind of wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to really do anything else, because everything else was just faff. Yeah. And then I just got more and more and more into it. I thought, right, let's just get myself a coach. Like, Tom was pretty much a starter as well. Like, Tom had only had a few clients on stage at that point. Yeah. So for me, like, that was a big step. And for him, like, I was just some client's girlfriend that was starting out. And then from there.
When was that? When did you like start with Tom?
I can tell you the exact date, 19th of November, 2018. Or no, 18, 19, 20.
So 2 years after you started with him, you got on stage? No, 3 years.
Yeah. 2 years after. No.
3 years.
2019, I think. Wait, it was 3 years in November.
It would have been, 8. This November.
I think it's technically like just 3 years.
Right, okay.
So I started with him like 3 years ago, I know that. And then
so you were within 2 years before you competed then, basically.
Yeah, because obviously we went through the lockdown. So how I was meant to go is I was meant to compete a year with him. I was destined to go into bikini at that point. Yeah. I stayed with Tom, we realised bikini, whatever. And then lockdown kind of happened. And then I was training like anything that I could. I had quite good weights and stuff. And he basically, with bikini, like there's a certain criteria where it's like, you know, like if you get to a point, you know, like your chest, like there's the different styles of training will have to be slightly different, you know, like different categories you train differently, like, you know, benching, you know, it's not really what you do, that kind of thing. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to train. I want to enjoy training, and I don't want a category to limit me from that. I was like, I love training. So whatever I fit into. And then I think this is how I've kind of just loved posing, and that's why I'm into the job now, is because I just posed every single category like I do now. Yeah. And I would send Tom bikini poses. I would send Tom figure poses. I just send Tom random shit because I just see it on social media and I'll just give it a go. I just do it. And then one time he saw me and in figure poses and sent it to a friend, like figure poses that actually hit relatively decent. And then, from there, he was like, scrap it, we're doing toned figure. Yeah. Because I think toned figure from that point started to get bigger. I feel like it started to take off. Yeah, because I feel like it was always really bikini heavy. Like that's what people wanted to do. Whereas I feel like now if you go and watch a show, like toned figure is like a stacked category, like very, very popular. 100%. Like I definitely think since I've competed, I'm not saying that I started the trend, but I'm saying like since like I've competed, I've definitely seen like since the year I've competed, that's probably a best way to put it. I've definitely seen that a lot of people aren't scared to say that they're toned figure, because figure is like, it is different to bikini. Like people think bikini figure and think two bros, and it's very, very different. Yeah, completely different. Then I was with him 2 years. About a year of that was in lockdown, and then I started prep. I think it was just out of the lockdown, and then competed, and then now I'm a year and into an off season. So I don't even know what your question was. I completely forgot. Okay. I think I said, I can't remember either. I think I said like, how did you get into competing and like how did you start sort of training? So it's basic. This is really weird actually. And then when you said that, I was like, oh my God, this is how I got into competing and bodybuilding as well. Really? Was it in it? Yeah. Like basically I was like kind of into training, but I was like full on cardio, hit circuit, like that kind of person. Yeah, and didn't really do any weights, just did like the odd bit of weights, but just did like, I used to go to Virgin and make my own little like hit circuit. Love it. And that's literally like all I ever did. And then I got into weights through the same thing, through an ex, and then saw him like doing bodybuilding, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Mm-hmm. And then like started doing it that way.
But my first prep was a complete, like, not a disaster, basically.
Go on, still.
No, it's just, I just wasn't ready to, I honestly don't know how you prepped when you were like where you were, because I think I was at uni, but I think I must have been maybe like 20.
Same age.
Yeah, I must have been 19, 20, right? So similar age to like you, and you prepped. And started prep, did 2 weeks, and I was like, no, cannot do this. Like, no, just can't do it right now. So didn't do that prep. Honestly, I didn't last long at all. I remember, right, the guy that was coaching me at the time, I actually knew he used to PT at Virgin. And so he was like an in-person PT, right? So I think I did my first check-in with him, and it was like, lost weight, great, yeah, carry on. And I think I came to the second week, and it was like, you've like gained like 2 pounds or 3 pounds or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I haven't followed the plan. And that was like 2 weeks in. So the first one was I just wasn't ready. Like, I was going out at uni. I was like just not in a position to prep. So then I scrapped that and then did it after uni instead, and that went a little bit better.
And that went better.
Although I do look back at that, I did the can you remember it's not popular anymore, but it was the UK, was it UK UP? Have I just made that up?
UCUP.
Yeah, is that a federation?
I think there is a UCUP.
Yeah, the one that was at Body Power.
I think it's UCUP.
It is. And I did that, and I look back at my page and I'm like, oh my god, this is absolutely horrendous. Why did I do
funny
that?
Though, like, at least you did it. Like, at least you did it though. Like, I feel like for me, I was very lucky, like who I was surrounded with. Like, if you look at my circle back then, for example, I had Lewis, I had Victor, I had those because I was training at Lewis's gym, so I had them around me. I had Beth around me, who was in it. I had Ella around me. I was in a flat on my own. It was a COVID. Everyone was away at home.
You were in a very different environment.
Yeah, like no clubs were open, and they only opened and then it was summer holidays. So I stayed in Coventry. So again, I still had my flat on my own. So I was in an environment where I didn't have housemates telling me to go out. I didn't have anyone around me in the kitchen. I was training with people, like the gym that I train at were do or die bodybuilders. So for me, like, it was, as soon as I got to Coventry, that was my turning point. That was, I'm taking bodybuilding seriously. And it was purely just down to my environment. I promise you now, if I didn't move to Coventry, I probably would have competed, but wouldn't have done it as well, or that would have been my first and last season, because my mindset would have been completely different. And
it has to be in the right place, doesn't it? Like, I think when I did it the first time, it was just not, I just wasn't ready to like commit to something like that. Like, I was literally living at uni. I lived in a house share with like 5 girls that were like 19-year-old girls, going out, drinking all the time, and that was literally me as well.
And it's a completely different lifestyle. That's it.
100%.
That's it. You eat, sleep, train, repeat, eat, sleep. And you can be sociable. I'm not saying you can't not balance, but there's that aspect of, you can't go out drinking. And if you have a serious emotional attachment and have serious amounts of FOMO, then you're going to really struggle. Like, I have FOMO real bad. So I was lucky that I didn't get FOMO because I didn't have any friends in uni. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I have 2 friends in uni, and like, that's it. Like, I didn't make any friends with my housemates because I hardly saw them, and like, we just weren't into the same thing. But I'm happy with that. Like, I feel like my close-knit group has really shaped who I am, and having so many friends for me, I think, would just veer me away from what I want to direct to. Well,
you want to be surrounded by people who are like going in the same direction as you, and like understand that
and support you, and like love seeing you succeed. That's so important. And that's something that I've realized with, I don't know about you, but I've realized that with having my own business that's, I like to say, quite successful, is that you really do find out who your enemies are and who dislikes you for that success, and then people who actually are like genuinely happy for you when you are successful, when you do really well, or something going. Like, when, like, if you want to know who your true friends are, piece of advice, guys, start a business, but get successful, and then you'll soon see, because genuinely it has really opened up my eyes, and people use you a lot. Like, it's
in terms of to move themselves forward a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But that's just how it is. But no, it's definitely been a crazy 3 years. And I think one thing that I live by is if an opportunity comes, you say yes. And if something doesn't work out, like if I wasn't to do well in bodybuilding and it just wasn't for me, I'd go sound, I'll try it one more time. And if it's not good, then I know it's not for me, but I've tried it. I've said yes to every opportunity. Like if you get an invite to the British finals, you go, even if you think, no, I can't. Like I promise you, I was sat in this office with Beth, because there used to be 2 desks in here, and I almost quit every single day, 5 times a day in between shows was so hard for me. But I kept remembering, yes, you've got to do it. If you don't do it, you're just going to regret it.
Because it's the same with everything, isn't it? Like, what are you, like, I think a lot of people, right, don't go for things because they're scared of failing. But it's like, if you do everything with that mindset, like, you will literally never try anything. And then you just end up, like, boxing yourself in and actually not doing anything because you're scared of it not quite going to plan. Whereas I just think sometimes if you go for it, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And I always think, if you ask yourself that, like, if you get an opportunity, like, right, what's the worst that's going to happen? What can, like, go wrong? Most of the time it's not actually as, like, bad as you think it's going to be.
No. And it's a 50-50 chance. Like, it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to succeed. And if you succeed, think about all the opportunities that it opens. If it fails, you go, cool, I've learnt my lesson. You may have lost a couple £100, depending on what the investment was, or you may have gotten a little bit embarrassed, but life goes on. People will talk about it, see about it for a day, or they may not even notice that you've done something like that. But it's like every opportunity you get that comes your way, you say yes, until you're allowed to be picky, until you found something, until you know what kind of, like, you want, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like you should just always say yes, unless you need to say no. But
unless it's a dire circumstance.
But no, I think that's kind of like how in the last 3 years it's gone so quick, and it's gone kind of the way that it has, because every opportunity that Tom threw at me, I said yes to. Every opportunity anyone threw at me, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'm quite a yes in person anyway. So if someone says, like, you wouldn't do it, or
you're like,
all right, watch. And I think that just comes in handy, because I think that is like you said, if you're in a box, you just stay in that box, and
you're never going to grow, are you, or develop or anything.
Exactly.
Because I remember seeing you obviously starting the posing, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I remember just seeing it, I was like, this is like, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like, this is growing, like, really, really fast. Because I feel like from when you put so much work into it, like, you're so good at, I think, at, like, promoting everything you do and, like, sharing it, and, like, obviously you're, like, banging results out, like, left, right, center, like, doing posing in a way I think no one else does it like you do it, right? But I feel like it's grown, obviously with a lot of hard work, but it's grown very, very quickly, hasn't it? So how did you, like, start with the posing? How did you, like, get into the posing side of things?
So for some reason people thought I looked really good on stage, but I look back at these videos, guys, and you're chatting so much shit, it hurts, because honestly, like, I look back on stage and I'm like, I genuinely look like I look awful. And I think it's because obviously I've gotten better myself. But a lot of people would say to me, like, you're really good at posing, you're really confident, I watched you at the British finals. I got a lot of people not coming for my physique, but coming for the way that I presented myself and how I was on stage. I definitely think, winning the show that I won helped. It brought a lot of traffic to my social media. And to be honest with you, when I was in prep, I'm a uni student, I was skint, the prep put me in debt, and I was working a waitressing job, and I basically was earning £40 a week. Like, it hardly paid anything. And I was having to, like, skimp out and ask people money. Like, it was just a really tough time. And I was with Reese at this point, and I said to him, I was like, it's something that I've always thought about, but I'm never going to do. That kind of thing, like, I can't do that.
Like a dream type thing, that you're like,
I've only competed once, I've been training 2 years, like, there's no way, like, there is absolutely no way. And he said, and this is what the exact same quote that we just spoke about, you've got to try it. You've got to say yes. He was like, if it goes well tonight, he was like, there are so many opportunities out there for you. If it goes wrong, you've tried it. You've given it your best shot.
What have you got to lose?
It is. He was like, but what have you got to lose? 40 quid a week. He was like, 40 quid a week. He was like, you can charge £10 for a session. And I know you'd already get like 3-4 girls. And you're getting less for what you're earning. And I was like, it was literally, we were on a drive back. We always go for late night drives. And we were on a drive back, and literally that evening we spoke about it. That same evening, I was mocking up my logo. The next day I announced it.
So it was literally like decided, and then it wasn't like weeks and weeks of planning, or it was literally just out there straight away.
Out there straight away. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my friend. The only person who knew was Reese and Beth, because it was so quick. It was like, I was, in a way you could say, really desperate, and I just needed something to work. And I was just so determined and so passionate. Like, I love posing. I always videoed my posing. I showed my whole process with social media. Like, it was something that I genuinely have fallen in love with, and I do have a massive passion about. And I was excited for it. And I was like, I need something. I cannot live on £40 an hour. I can't get a job quick enough. I was like, if it works, it works. I'm just going to put my all into it. So it was like logo. And then literally that same day that I launched, I got 2 clients.
That was going to be my next question. So you launched it, and then how did you like go from there in terms of like building it from there?
You know what? I don't know how to explain it, but all I can say is marketing is your best friend. Marketing, promoting. And I think because I already shared a lot of my life on social media, people already followed me, which obviously I had a far bigger reach than I would have if I started it years ago.
Yeah, you already had like a good social media like presence, and obviously you'd done, you competed, and you already had something there to kind of
riding off that wave. I did a good time because I only competed 3 months after I announced it. Before I think it was it? You
competed in what, October last year wasn't it?
Oh no, it was a year. It was a year after.
You only competed last year, didn't you?
So yeah, I was riding off that wave.
Yeah.
Because I was going through post-show. Obviously, I'd won the British title. I was riding off that wave of still having like, my name being people's mouths, like, did you see Sanara at the British? Or I don't know what they said, but obviously I rode off that wave, and obviously people saw me at the British, and one thing that I found was, one thing I asked myself was, what would I want as a posing coach? What was my previous experience, and what more would I want? And I like to say I found a niche, because I feel like I do have a very unique USP. Like, no one else does the kind of processes that I do in posing, and that's why I think I do so well, and I put a lot of work into it. But I know that there are a lot of, and I knew beginners was what I wanted to reach, because that is where the clientele is at. Like,
well, then obviously you can take someone through the whole journey of like getting them from never having posed to like building them up, can't you?
Exactly. And I knew that was it. And I knew there was a lot of posing coaches out there, but I also think like my demographic and how young I am really helps people come to me as well. Because if you look at the age of a lot of posing coaches out there, they can be, a lot older, which could create them to be quite intimidating. They're already well within their career, which makes them very well experienced, which can scare people, especially beginners who are my age. Like, if you look at how many people who are very similar to my age,
it's like relatable, isn't it?
And also because I feel like I've become quite like approachable on social media. Like, I just chat like.
Well, you just chat, don't you, in your stories? Like, you just get your story up and like chat. So I feel like people will feel like they know you pretty well.
And that's just kind of how I built it. And I found the niche on the Google Sheets that I have, because I would go into a posing session. Like, I've had 3 or 2 in my life. I went into my first ever posing session, felt great within the posing session, went through so much content there. Like, I'm sure there's just so much going on in your head. There's so many, and then you leave, you feel like, and then you're like, you go to pose again, and you're like, fuck, this looks nothing like the posing session. I received no photos of my session. I received no cues. I received no support. It was posing session, that's it, done. And that was the same as like all 3 of my posing sessions. I was like, no chance. There is no way that is sustainable. There is no way clients are actually getting what they're paying for. So I was like looking how successful Reese was, and I was doing like my own little primary research of Google Sheets. How can I turn that into posing? Okay, all that kind of stuff. And then I remember I started my business on the 4th of December. I was in Norfolk for Christmas, and after 3 weeks, I launched my Google Sheets, and I think at that point I had 10 clients.
Right.
And then I think the way that I just kind of built my business is just, like I said, saying yes to every opportunity, constantly thinking months and months and months in advance. So like marketing, my best friend, you just put stuff out there, you do your primary research. What's missing? Where's the niche? What do people want? Do people want a cheaper service? How can I actually fit that in? Do people like this? You get feedback from clients. I post my clients, like I tag their coach themselves, my page, and my logo is everywhere. Like the one story has 3 reshares most of the time because of the people that I tag. And I just built it by going, okay, how can I make passive income? Cool, I'm going to launch some online tutorials.
Because like you go on your website and you've got your ebook, which is like your posing ebook, you've got your tutorials that you can download and get sent over straight away, you've got your group posing sessions, you've got your one-to-one sort of sessions. So there's like so many different things. And obviously you launched that tier thing, didn't you, recently as well? I think that was like just before Christmas.
Yes, the tier thing.
The best friend package. Oh my God, I know so much about you.
It's like for me. But yeah, it's just, and the reason why I feel like I'm quite good at marketing is because I'm bringing something new to the table every month. Because I am putting the work in, I'm getting the feedback. Clients, tell me, what do you want from me? Like, tell me, like, I want to know, because if I can provide it for you, then cool. I started the SFP community because I found that I felt at the beginning like I had no one. Like I didn't know anyone, and I was scared, and I was made fun of because I was into training and all that kind of stuff. And I felt really lonely and felt embarrassed to tell people that I was into bodybuilding. I felt embarrassed to go out for food with someone because I wanted to eat what I wanted to eat, or, Tupperware, stuff. Like, it just brought me, I'm not an anxious person, but even I felt that sheer of like embarrassment from the sport. And I was like, all my girls are beginners. All my girls tell me, I have no friends, no one at my gym does the same thing. I don't want to pose into the gym. And I was like, screw that. All of you are going to be friends. I was like, fuck this. All my clients are friends. I don't care if you leave me, go to a different posing coach or whatever. If you've had a session with me, you are here. And if you want to leave, you can leave. I was like, I'm not going to remove anyone. If you've had a session with me, you stay. And I've had loads of girls go for coffees and
this is really cute.
It's honestly like, that's the most rewarding part, is seeing clients on stage and smashing it, but B, seeing the community actually being like such a positive place. And I think where people see that it's such I'm an approachable person, but B, there's like an approachable community around it, and then I obviously offer so many other packages and like things to provide you with, like it's almost like a no-brainer. Why would you go to someone else who just offers posing coaching when maybe, depending on how much they charge for a similar cost or something more, they get more? So it's just, I think another thing as well is a lot of posing coaches are overpriced. Like I look at some prices, I look at some prices and I'm like, I couldn't even justify that. For that, I couldn't even justify how much it is. And I think it's also understanding your niche. If you are working with top level girls, you can charge her whatever the hell you want. But beginners, you've got to understand they're new. They're probably not financially there. Their whole life probably isn't based around bodybuilding. And it's just knowing your audience, I think. And it's just constantly thinking, what could I be better? Where could I be better?
Yeah.
Every day I'll promote my business. Every day.
Yeah, and that'll obviously allow you then to bring out new things that's like in line with what people want and sort of go that way with it.
Exactly. And if you ever do want to start your business, I promise you now, social media, marketing and promoting. And if the business is based on yourself, make yourself known as that business and get the people to know you, because they invest in you. They don't invest in your business. They don't give a shit. They invest in you as a person if you are the business. For example, with your coaching, they invest in you. Even though you're undivided, they don't think of you as undivided. You're their coach. They're investing in you. You are worth the money. So if they know you before, that's how you'll get your clients, because they're like, oh, I like people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, and they know so much about me. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't know your name, but they know so much about me. And that's how you want it to be, because that's how you drive people in. Yeah.
And also I think it's so nice that I get clients, right? And they'll like message me and they're like, oh, I've been like watching YouTube for like the last 2 years, or oh, I've followed you for like 3 years and I watched you like do your first comp like years ago. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And they're like, it's nice because like I've got an email list, I've got a podcast, I've got YouTube, I've got Instagram, I've got like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I've got everything. So it's like, if someone comes and they've like listened to the podcast, they've subscribed to my email list, like I put emails out multiple times a week. I'm like, I've got a free Facebook group where I put loads of free videos in and like resources. And it's like, if they've come through a different channel, obviously you get the odd person that's like inquired and they've literally just found you and inquired straight away, but I feel like it's really nice because you get on a call with someone and they're already so bought into you. They know what your coaching is about, they know like, you know, who you are as a person, like they might have come from a referral or whatever. Like I get most of my clients now come from clients and then they tell someone else and then they come to me. So it's like then they followed me and they know like how it all works. And it's so much nicer because you get on a call, like I do like consult calls with all my clients. So I'll get on a call and just like have a chat to them and like get to know them. And it's so nice because then you get on a call and it's like they already know what you are. You're not having to get on and be like, right, like this is me, this is what I do, this is how it works. It's like they already know everything.
Yeah, like they're invested in you. Like they know they've looked at who you are and they love it, and if they get on with you, like that's the only way you're going to work with someone, if you're going to get on with them.
It's so important. And that's I think we had this chat, you know, we did like the Stups meet up and we went and we trained together. I think we were saying then like about the community side of things, because that's what I wanted to do with like my coaching, was like make it really like community focused. And I've got girls now that come to the team trainings, like, you know, one of them's going to the other girl's wedding and it's like,
it's so cool, honestly.
It's nice.
A smile on my face, because it's like, you know what, like in a way it's like I made that happen, but at the same time it's like I'm really glad that you found someone in this massive world that you get on with and it's the same thing as you, because it's so hard. Like I feel like as a male, like you can go to any gym and the biggest guy in the gym is probably into bodybuilding, so it's sound, but any other female, I feel like it's very hard, and I feel like females are very easily intimidated in the gym. So having that friendly face, not knowing that someone trains at a gym 2 doors away from your gym is literally there, just helps, I feel like, with everything. And like I said, like I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the people who are around me. And I feel like it's very important to have the correct people around you. So it's very hard to find female bodybuilders who are lovely. I say everyone's lovely, but I mean, I know in the gym that I definitely may come across like I don't want to talk, or I may just be in my session. And that's just, you know, how I am. If you came up and
that's like me as well. It's such a resting bitch face.
Literally. But like girls will take that as like intimidation. Girls will do it to me. They will smile at me. And I feel like it's just to break that barrier for the other girls and to go, oh, I'm from Newbury. Oh, me too. Oh, no way. Had no idea.
Yeah. Because obviously bodybuilding, it can be quite isolating because it's like, and it's the same, like you'll find this with like what you do as well. But with me, I literally sit on a computer all day, every day and talk at my laptop, right? Obviously I have client calls and stuff, but you'll be the same. Like you obviously have like posing sessions with clients and you do obviously like your group posing sessions, but a lot of your job is like solo stuff, right? And I'm the same, and that's isolated. And then you've got the bodybuilding as well, which is also like you go to the gym by yourself. Like I occasionally train with someone, but like 90% of my training, I've got my headphones on, I'm like driving to the gym by myself, training at the gym by myself. Like you do your meal prep by yourself. Like it's all very like a one person type thing, isn't it? So I feel like it can be quite at times. And I used to, I don't feel like you are really like this, but I used to be, so when I first got into training, I used to like, I did this thing where I'd like idolize people and I'd like put people on this massive pedestal.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I'd like see people and be like, oh my God, look who it is. And I'd be like, I wouldn't dare go and speak to them at all. So I feel like I really cut myself off from things because I was like, I felt like I was like this newbie person that like, you know what I mean? And everyone was like so amazing. And then it like, I cut myself off from it even more because even I did this with coaching as well. Like I'd see these coaches who had been like doing it for years. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And then there was like me. But like, if I look back now, like I've been coaching for like five, 6
really
years now.
Successful. Like now, like you're like, I see your business and I don't see a startup. I don't see someone who's got 5 clients and who, you go, oh yeah, they're an online coach too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Another one, you are well within your right to, like you are successful. Like you should say, I'm successful. Successful. Like it is. You have loads of women in your team. Like you have a really great page and loads of community. And I feel like you are now the person that you put on a pedestal.
Yeah, and I do see that now, but I feel like it took me so long to get to that point where I was like, okay, yeah, like I know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm a good coach. I really care about everyone I work with. Like I've built a really, really, like really good, successful business, but it took me so long to actually like be able to see that, what I mean? It took me like years and years to get to that point. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm good at this. Like I can do this. Like
you get imposter syndrome.
Yeah, 100% for years. And it took me so long to get to the point where I was like, yeah, like actually I'm in a really good spot. Like I know what I'm doing.
You got there in the end. I think that's where I'm like quite different.
Yeah.
Like I got imposter syndrome at the beginning, and I used to put people on social media on a pedestal when I was like 16, and then I used it as like, I'm really competitive and it's going to make me sound really, really horrible, but it made me think I'm going to be better than you.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really, really harsh, but I look up to people and I would respect them. I respect people who are way above me, but my aim is I'm going to be bigger and better than you. So where you are at now is not where I want to be. I want to be further than that.
Yeah.
And I think with me, with my confidence in being able to achieve that, whether or not it takes me 5 years, 10 years, if I aim higher, I've got no one to look up to because I am trying to get to a point where they're not. So I think that's given me, I'm also like, I'm just very confident, and I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot of fake it till you make it. And then you can just do that in the way. And like, I look up to people, but I will never want to be like them because I'll always know that I'm my own individual and I'll never be like them.
Which is a good way to look at it.
Exactly. Or I'm like, cool, you're doing really well, but I want to do better. So how do I do that? And then I work towards how I can be better. Yeah. I feel like that's the kind of mindset. And I feel like that I have imposter syndrome at the beginning, and then I'm like, I've done it now. Fuck it. I'm just gonna like, I remember imposter syndrome was bad at the beginning of my business, and then I got more clients, and then I felt more confident, and then I was like, right, Sni, if you really want this to work, you need to know, like, you can't remain timid. You just need to like full on send it. Just send it. And that's what I did. It's just what you got to do. And like, that's the good thing that with what you're doing now is you finally like almost like came to that mindset. I know what I'm doing. Let's just go.
Yeah, and here you exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's why, like, going back to like the community side of things as well, I remember when we had that conversation and in like Ultimate when we were training, and I think that side of things is like, that's what I wanted to do with mine. It was like, I want it to be a thing where like everyone knows each other. Like that's why I do like we have like team lives where we do like a Loom and we do like the team meetups, and I love that because it's like you actually get to like meet people.
Yeah, it's not just like you're not just doing a check-in once a week, like you're actually creating a relationship.
Yeah, and actually getting to know each other people properly, because I feel like so many coaches, they work with like hundreds of clients, and it's like, I don't understand how people remember anything about their clients, because it's like, how can anyone remember 200, I don't know how many clients people have, right? But I don't know how people can like remember enough about the clients and actually know their clients. Because like when I got on a call with a client, right, I start with a client, I have a call with them, like decide if they want to work with me, they fill out a consult form, and then I get on another call with them and I actually go through their form with them so I can actually learn about them as a person in their life. Right. And that's like, before I've even done any work to set them up, that's 2 hours.
Yeah. And you get to know them at that point, don't you?
Yeah. And then it's like, when I take a client on, I'm talking to that client every day for the first week or two, just to like talk through their life. So it's like, how do people provide that level of service with like that many clients, you know?
I think the difference between me and you is like, we are community based, and we have that willingness to create relationships. And I think with a lot of other coaches, it's my job. I will look at your sheets on a week-to-week basis. I'll look back at data. They'll create a coach-client relationship, and then that's kind of where it kind of stays at. But I feel like they can have loads and loads of clients because it's just their service. They don't have that included in their service. And your service is community-based. And this is where we're very similar, because the community for us is very, very, very important. And that is our USPs. Like, people, I see your social media and I see a lot of your girls are together, and I see that there are smiles and photo shoots together and all that kind of stuff. I love that.
That's the best part.
Exactly. And it's like, that is what your USP will be. And that will attract the people you want to attract. The people who have hundreds of clients will probably be a prep client who just need food, trainings. Like, that's that. But we attract a different type of client, I would say, in the sense of they need that support and we're willing to give it to them.
Yeah. And also, I don't want to be like a transformation coach that is like, you know, here's your food, this is your macros, this is training, off you go, see you next week.
Yeah, it's like friendship.
Yeah, literally. Like, I like to think anyone I work with, I could go and have a coffee with them and we could like chat for a couple of hours and it'll be like fine. Talk about the dog or whatever, you know. But I get some of the girls and they'll talk to me about like their relationships and like their pet and like their family, and like I know all that stuff about them already.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I'm the same. Like, I could go out, I promise you, if any of my clients are on here, I can guarantee you I could go out with a coffee with them and we would be able to chat as if we were best friends for years, because you just get to know them. Like, you get to know their life, your pose. It's like you know, like your hairdresser, you know, when your hairdresser knows everything and like you know everything about the hairdresser. It's exactly the same, isn't it? Like, as a coach, like if that's the kind of relationship you're willing to kind of entail, then you do form that. And that's what I love about this industry, because I have created so many friends through clients, like, and I'm a very sociable person, but I don't like having loads of friends. Like, I know that sounds really crazy. Like, I don't have the time for it. So it's like, it really pushed me out there to be more kind of open to more friendships. And it's really kind of allowed me to understand the value of it and the value of other people, because I'm like, I would think I was so consumed in my own life, I forgot that other people lived lives too. And then being in this business, I've really opened myself up and kind of like gone, fuck, like, people have issues too. Like, people, you know, like, have like their life too. And like, I want to be friends with them, and I get on with these people. And it's just fantastic, because I generally will go on posing sessions. It doesn't feel like work. I'll have like a 5-minute catch up, or I'll be texting some clients and it's nothing even work related. And it's great, because it's like, this is what I want. Like, this is what SFP is about. This is about you knowing that you have support no matter what.
Have you got any exciting plans for next year that you can share?
That I can share.
You're like, I've got millions, but I cannot share them yet.
Business or personal?
Okay, let's go business first, and then we'll talk about plans going forward competing wise as well.
Business 2023 is mega. Like, I've gone through my first year. I have like, I don't know if you saw Christian Chapman's post where he was like 2022 scared him, and now he's put up his timeline for 2023, and now it's like shit. But I'm going to do literally the same thing that I did last year, but I have new packages coming out. The one specifically coming out on the 1st. I don't even think it's going to be out. I can say it because it's going to be out by the time this podcast is out.
Yeah. Because this podcast is coming out later. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing the start.
Sorry.
You're the first person.
No, I'm excited.
So I'm bringing out a starter posing package with naps, and basically what that's going to entail is loads of things. So you're going to get your own posing suit.
Wow.
You're going to get posing heels. You're going to get tier 2 online posing sessions, and also the online tutorials and the ebook. So
wow, that's like a big package.
Yeah, and it's like heavily discounted. Wow. Like you've worked out statistics, and it's heavily discounted. So basically, a lot of my girls ask me for what heels to get, what poses to get, and not a lot of girls know. And we were like, no one's done it before. There is not a whole posing starter pack. This is your way. If you want to start bodybuilding, this is what you get.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
You get pose, and then it's just the coach part that we don't have, but that's not what we sell. Like that's complete, it's a monthly thing. So anything that you want for posing, you would literally have in this package. And I can't remember how much it is, but it's only just over £200. So it's very affordable. I've got loads of events. I've got an event coming in January with Physique Evolution. I
saw that actually, because I train them quite a lot.
Yeah, you should come. It's basically just like it's kind of like this. It's like just going to do some posing. If you have any questions about competing, ask me. And they're trying to drive more people into that gym who are into bodybuilding, or people who are in that gym already who are like, oh, what should I do? It's just to get them to kind of understand that. So they asked me to work with them. For me was a massive deal for me. Having a gym come up to me and say, look, I want you to work with us in this event. I was like, oh, that's when I got imposter syndrome. But of course I said yes. And then I've got so much on, like here. I've got so much on here. I've got loads of events going on, group posing. I'm going to be going to more of my girl shows. I want to be at the PCA Expo again. I want to be at more expos next year, because that was just insane. Like I couldn't believe I was there.
That was really cool actually, that you got to do that.
And I did guest speaking as well there, which I was like, oh my God, that's when my anxiety hit bad. Because Ryan Alexander, you know, the one who owns the PCA, he was like messaging me on Facebook to begin with, what the hell? And he was like, do you want to do it? And I messaged Tom straight away, no. I was like, this is the only thing that I'll say no to. Because I was like, that is a PCA Expo. I was like, no chance. I was like, I haven't even done my business for a year. I was like, no, I can't do it. I'm scared. Public speaking's fine, but I knew who else was going to be there. I knew other big names were there, and I was like, absolutely not. I was like, I can't. I just felt this dread of like, I am not good enough. I can't do it. Stay away. And then everyone was just like, do it. And then I soon came about to do it, and it actually wasn't too bad. So if you're going to say do it, just do it. Just say yes.
And now it's like, you know, you can do it and you're actually absolutely fine.
And it was genuinely nothing to worry about. Like it was like I was in a posing session. But that is, I can't really say too much, but next year is going to be completely different. A different approach, in the sense the same thing's going to happen, more of, and a different approach to how I kind of pose and stuff. And hopefully some new business ventures as well.
Which will be cool.
Which will be exciting.
But
have you got any plans?
Well, I've been working for ages now on this app that I'm doing. So it's really cool, right? Because it now means when a client joins me, rather than getting sent this random email that's like, log into, you know, you can use loads of things for coaching that like track your workouts or whatever. So it's this new app and it's all branded. So when someone now starts, they get sent this like login, they can actually go on the App Store, right? So if you go on the App Store now and search Undivided Coaching, it actually comes up with the app. which is really cool. And you basically click to download it, and I set up someone on the app, and then it sends them their password and the login, and they can log into the app, and it's all like branded, it's like all black and pink. It's cool. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it? So
That's wicked.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So it now means when someone logs in, and they can do everything on the app. So all their initial consult form is on the app, their payment is within the app, they can like message, they can voice note me, all that, obviously the standard stuff like the training, the nutrition, etc. is all built in. But it's got this really cool thing in it, which is like a vault, it's called, and it's got I've got folders where there's loads of videos and like documents uploaded. So they basically get like a members area within this app as well. It's like Google Drive, but within the app.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited because I feel like there's so many things in the back of my head. I'm like, I could do this on there and I could do that on there. Yeah. So
I love that. I love spider diagrams in my head because I just love being creative. And I love it when you're like, but then this, and then this. Oh my God. And then you just like, don't even know where to start. I love that one. It's the best thing.
So that's coming out. Well, it's ready, but basically I need to get all my clients over onto the app, which is obviously a very, very big job because every client has a completely different setup, right? So it's not like I upload one training plan on there. It's like I need to basically do everyone's training plan manually. Yeah. And then I need to set them up, and then I need to add the progress photos on, and their nutrition, and their daily. Everyone has a different like daily check-in form. Yeah, it's different. So I've got to get all that set up, which I've started doing, but it's just a very, very big task. Yeah, I'm not. So once that's on, then and everyone's settled, everyone knows what they're doing, then I can start to kind of branch out a bit more and be like, right, what can I do as like because there's a few things I've got ideas for that I can kind of build into that. So that should be coming out in Jan. And then obviously there's like the podcast that's relaunching, like the YouTube stuff I've recorded some bits already for that's coming out. So I think I just want to try and get everything really consistent across everything.
That's exciting though. Like it's the year where things will hopefully fall together for kind of like both of us. Like it's the year where this has been the building year. Yeah. And now we're hoping to lay some cement. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like obviously it's been your like first full year where you've kind of got yourself up to like a really, really good standard. Like you've got a really good presence, like everything's set, And it was the same with me. Like this year's like Undivided launched. And I feel like so next year I'm like, right, I'm ready to like roll with this now. And I've got my first girls competing next year. Obviously I've had a few girls doing posing with you as well. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Like I really am excited. Like when I saw the name, I was like, she's got girls now. Like you've got girls who are competing, because I knew that was obviously something that you wanted to do. So it was like, you're finally kind of veering into that. So
because I think again I was always like, I can't do that, and then I'd get after this year, actually after universe, I got quite a few girls that were like, can you prep me? And I was like, I'm not a prep coach, like no. Obviously didn't I was like, no, I'm not a prep coach, like go and work with this person instead. Like I recommended quite a few girls to like Dan, who I obviously coach, who coaches me. and then I kept getting more girls, and then a couple of my clients who already had with me were like, I'm thinking about competing. And I was like, well, actually, like I know these girls really well, like I have prepped a few times now. I was actually, you know what, I can do this. So I've got most of my clients that are competing are girls that came to me not wanting to prep, but have like gotten into that just from so now it's quite exciting because I'm getting more and more girls now who are coming to me that like, actually I'm coming to like actually compete. So I'm really excited for that, because I feel like as well it's girls who all of them are first timers, which I think and I think looking into it, that's more the avenue that I would like to go down, because I feel like again it's like youngish female, like into competing, like still have a really big focus on like community and like the life side of things, not just prep, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of a different thing to what, again, a lot of big coaches are probably quite intimidating, and like if you're a youngish girl getting into prep, like you don't know what to do, or you don't know, and like a lot of the girls have gone through the federations with them, be like, oh, we could do this, like this is the heels you need to get, this is the posing suit, like go and get this, like, and it's like that, all that stuff at the start can be quite a big thing to go through.
Scary, like it's not just scary in mindset, it's scary in how the fuck am I gonna all that shite.
Yeah. So
How, like, that's amazing though, because I feel like it's good that you're kind of going for first timers, because in a way you're a first timer too, because you're doing it together, and I feel like that's how you're going to get better, because you're going to learn by the girls who are also first timers. And also, like, you may say this year, but I can guarantee you in 3 years time you're not going to just be doing first timers, you're going to be prepping people who are with a lot higher standard, because your business would have just potentially evolved that way. And that's just how life is. Like, you just constantly evolve, even though you didn't expect it.
Because I always thought, like, I was always adamant that I was like, I only want to work with like lifestyle girls who are like beginner clients, basically, who are like just getting into training. But I think as I've got more experience as a coach as well, and I've obviously got very involved in bodybuilding, it's like, actually, I really enjoy working with girls that are, you know, want to push a bit more, not necessarily want to compete, but, you know, yes, some people do want to compete, and that's great, but also girls that are maybe lifestyle but actually do take their goals a bit more seriously.
100%. And you just evolve that way. It's like the same with mine. I got mainly figure competitors, then I had a few bikini competitors, and then I started thinking more about them, and then I decided I wanted to potentially in the future go into wellness, and then all of a sudden I had a wave of wellness clients, and now I'm like a diverse posing coach.
It just grows, doesn't it, over time?
It's just like you just got to take what life throws at you and get better at it.
100%.
It's good though. I love seeing other women succeed. Like, okay, I'm not hating on men, but I'm just saying, I love seeing it. I just love seeing it, because it's like, yes, another businesswoman. I love, like, if you were to have a conversation with me about anything, I would happily talk to you for hours about business. Like, I actually would, about back and forth.
Exciting though, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, like, I get so invested in someone else's business, and I'm like, oh, but you could try do this, and you could do this. And I was like, oh, but how did you do that? How can I do that? Or I'm thinking this. I could talk to hours to you about business.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I remember, like, even before literally this podcast, I think we spent half an hour talking about businesses.
Yeah. Because it's just exciting though, isn't it? Because you get an idea, and then it's like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, and then you can sort of, like, where can you go with that? And then I love it, you know, when you like sit down and you like get a bit of time and you're like, right, let's do a bit of like exciting business plan. Like, I've got a Trello board, and it's like it's like my 2023, like, not vision board as such, but it's like got all my ideas on it. Because I love. Do you use Trello? Oh, I love Trello.
Trello, no, I just use paper, write it down, and then put it on a pile, and then get it done.
See, I feel like you're really good at like actioning things. I feel like you kind of, you have an idea, and you're like, right, get that out there. And it's
I so am. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing.
It's a good thing.
Things sometimes I need to take a step. Like, people tell me, make sure that it's good. And make sure it's good. You're not just like throwing money at something and getting it done, and like, you know, doing like, and I'm like, okay, cool. But I am very much a think about it, do.
See, I'm the complete opposite, which is what one of my goals is for 2023, is to like, right, Leah, take action, because I do this thing where I like have loads of ideas, and I'm like, this is a good idea, like, I feel like I'm really good at thinking of like avenues to go down and like ways of improving things, and then I'll just like sit on it for ages.
You know what you should do? You should tell me things that you think about, and then I will be the one who's like constantly like, so have you worked on this yet? Or I've actually had an idea about what you could do with this. Because I bet you, like, because
it's like an accountability thing, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you'll be like, fuck, I've told Sanaa, and I'll be like, right, get it done.
Yeah, it's because in my head I'm like, I want it to be like right, I want it to be perfect, which is obviously there's no such thing as being perfect, but I'm like, how can I make it better? And then I'm like, I could do this and I could do this. Whereas
what I've noticed is you want everything to be perfect, but like you said, nothing's perfect. So you need to get out what you can, and then you'll get feedback. And as long as it's you can develop and keep getting better, then you know what the people want then. But if you think, how can I make this better? That's just you.
Yeah, it's just you overanalyzing.
Exactly.
100%. I can't remember where we're even going with that, but anyway, lots of exciting 2023 plans. But right, so competing wise, what are you doing? Because obviously you were taking like a big off season to go into wellness, and then I saw one of your posts the other day, and you were like, had this really, it was like really like, I can't remember what it was now, but it was you, and you were like, may compete, not going to say what's happening, and it was like really what on earth is going on?
Like, the thing is though, like, one thing that I found, I wasn't even that big on social media, but I feel like even having 5,000 people, like, you put 5,000 people in a room and it's fucking loads of people. And having that last prep it just gave me a lot of pressure. A lot of people saw me on this pedestal, like you did, and said, you're going to do really well. There's no way you're not going to win. You're going to get top 3. You're going to win. You're going to do this. I'm so excited. And I love it. I love that you guys support me. I think it is so warming. And it's so nice to see that you have that flexibility.
Nice.
But everyone experiences doubt. And the doubt is amplified the more people add on their opinions and their expectations of you. And I would post a photo, get loads of support, but then I know that people are going, oh, but should she be doing this? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And when I won in between shows was when it really kind of hit me, because I won the overall, I won my class. And that's when everyone was like,
I remember you telling me about this.
Oh my God, you're going to do really, really well. And I had about a million, I had like a few hundred people going like, you're going to win the British champ. And I was like, what if I don't? I'm aiming for top 6 here. Like, I'm not even aiming for a win. Like, I'm sorry, but like, please stop. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I feel like a failure, even though I haven't competed. Because you just don't know. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So a lot has kind of happened where I've been on stage for 1 year, and I'm basically, we kind of describe me as a bit of a hybrid, in the sense of at the point that I'm at, I feel
you could go in a few different directions with it.
Go in so many directions, and it's just finding what's right for me. I love my look. I love my femininity. I love how I am. I'm very confident in how I am. And there's just certain avenues, A, I'm not willing to take yet. And also, B, I want to get my name out there. I've only ever competed in PCA, never competed in Two Bros, never competed in any other federation. So I am prepping next year.
Oh.
That is kind of decided. I am prepping next year.
When are you starting prep? Are we going to be on prep at the same time?
I'm going for like mid-summer shows.
You're a bit earlier.
Okay. But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like it's going to come to a shock to a lot of people as to kind of like where I venture out and kind of what I do. I'm being very cryptic here.
You are. That was the word I was looking for earlier when I was like reading that post, and I was like, it was like a cryptic post.
The reason why I'm being so cryptic is because I put so much about my journey as me going to figure to wellness, and now I'm kind of at this hybrid state. I'm like, I don't want to put myself in a category right now, and I don't want people to think that I'm not working towards something. And I'm like, it's just difficult, because I feel like I'm at that hybrid state where I could do like PCA figure, I could do PCA bikini, PCA wellness, depending on how we kind of like, I couldn't do PCA or bikini or wellness, but it depends how our training is, and obviously we've changed it into what we're doing. But I'm at that point where when I'm looking to compete, I could go down these different avenues and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I'm competing next year. I'm not giving out dates of my first 2 shows, because it's going to be you're gonna be able to see that I'm on prep, and I'm still going to give you updates, but I'm just not willing for you guys to kind of say anything about when I'm there. You'll know a day before, or I might even just get fed up and tell you. But for now, I don't really want people to know. I'm competing within PCA, and I will be competing within Two Bros and potentially other federations as well. But just depending on like when and what I do, I just can't have that pressure. I've got my business to think about, and I've got a lot of clients as well, and that's another thing. Like, I've got a lot of clients, I've got a spreadsheet, and clients I have almost a client in pretty much almost every show. So it's just, I don't want me bringing out my shows to push away any potential clients, or for them to feel like worse or me to feel worse or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sense of like where I may be going. So it's business, but it's also like I do want to tell you guys, but I'm just kind of like I can't take that stress because I've already got a lot of stress, and
it makes sense though.
And it's kind of like a, hey guys, surprise, I've turned up, I look in, are you ready to be destroyed? Kind of thing. Like you weren't there before, but now you should be.
Brilliant. So prep is definitely happening next year though, which is exciting.
Yeah, I am really excited. I'm also really nervous just because of last year's prep. Like, I don't know about you, but does it not give you a bit of PTSD?
I just feel like in my head, I'm like, I know how the last few shows have gone for me. And now I'm like, in order for me to be satisfied with how it goes, I want to win. Yeah,
don't, honestly. Like Beth was talking to me about this. She was like, you've never lost. How are you going to take it?
And that's literally like me as well.
Dad, like I will be like, congratulations. But in my head, I'll cry. And it's just because, and it's not because I'm a little bit of a sore loser, but I will be 100% supportive of whoever wins. But to this day, I've been the winner. I've won. And I'm going into something different. So I've got to expect something new, whether I think like with you last year, you went into something new, so you had no idea. And I'm treading into new waters as well. So I am going into that expectation of I might not be right, might not do well, whatever, generation, new category, whatever. But at the same time, I've never lost. So I
do think though, with that, you know, with going into a new thing, because I remember when I was going from toned into athletic, I was very much like, oh, actually, you know what, I can take a bit of pressure off because it's a new category. Like, it's my first time. I'm going to be against people who've done this like category before. I don't know, this is like a bit of a new thing. Like, I've never been this lean before. I'm just going to go and enjoy it. So I do feel like because it was a bit of a change in my head, I was like, I'm probably not going to win because I'm going to be against people who have got much more experience within this. Like, it's my first time. It's a very big show. I'm just going to go and have fun. So I do feel like the last show, I was a lot more chilled than I was at the British, because I'd done toned figure before and I was doing toned figure again. And I'd won my toned figure show in 2018, the first one I did. So I feel like I was like, oh my God, like I've been training for like 2 years in the same category. If I don't do well, I'm going to be like,
I'm
really
not progressed.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I think that was the thing. It wasn't that I wanted to win or as such. It was just the fact that in my head, I wanted to do as well as I'd done 2 years ago, because I'd put a lot of work into like developing, you know. But I think for this one, there was a lot less like expectation from me because it was new. So I was like, well, I haven't got any expectation of actually how this is going to go. So I do feel like if you like flip it on its head, actually it's like it's a new thing. So you're not, you know what I mean?
Now you said that, I'm like, fair enough. Like, because if I was to go into toned figure, like looking about it,
yes,
I'd go into it and I'd feel really nervous because if I don't win British champ, I'm no longer a British champ, even though I won it 2 years ago. That's it. I've competed and I'm not a British champ. Right now, I can still hold the British champ.
That was like me.
But there's so many girls out there now. It's fucking mental. They look like toned figure has completely changed.
It's quite heavily muscled now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm clearly not the poster girl anymore because these toned figure girls look nothing like me.
No, but I do feel like as well, like your shape is so
carried me. It carried me.
No, but because it's so nice, isn't it? Like your shape is just so like amazing that I just feel like, and obviously figure is still about shape as well.
Structure specifically in toned figure. Structure over anything, I've noticed watching shows. If you've got structure but you come in a little bit soft, competitors who don't have as amazing structure as you, or you have maybe a little bit tinier delt or whatever, might be a bit smaller, but your structure is like out of this world. It is PCA toned figure to the T, you win.
But I still feel like that's the same with athletic as well. Like, I still feel like they go for like your shape over anything else.
That's what PCA is though. It's very much structure based then condition.
Whereas I feel like if you go over to two bros, it's very much like
muscle density, like all that kind of stuff.
Because it's just completely different, isn't it?
So when are you looking to compete?
At the end of next year.
Are you gonna do the Worlds?
I'm going to do the British first, the PCA British, in October, because that's got a pro show, and then I'm going to do the Worlds in Spain, which is really cool because the flights
you're
are
a
paid
pro.
for. Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, you're a pro. I forgot you were a pro.
which is mad. I can't believe it.
That's mental. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. I forget.
Yeah,
I still think of you as toned figure Leah. I won't lie.
well, so do I. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to do that because I just think how cool is that to be able to go and compete in Spain.
That is wicked. Oh, I'm hoping to do an international show as well.
Yeah, but
I just think it'd be cool.
It will be so cool. But I kind of wanted to like maybe do some. I've only ever done PCA, right? Apart from that first UK UP show that I did in like 2018.
You can't do any other one though.
Well, I'm not. I think so, and that's the thing where I'm like, can I do another one? I don't know.
I feel like they'll let you off because of how, I don't want to say it, but how minimal the pros are at the moment.
There aren't many
There are very few because it's only very new.
Yeah.
So I would just, I don't know.
I'm gonna see, but yeah. I would love to do like another show, and maybe just have fun, because I feel like when I competed this year in May, I only did one show. When I competed last year, at the end of last year, I did the qualifier and then the British. It was always very like, this is the show, this is the aim. Whereas I feel like it'll be really cool to just go and do a show and be like, I'll just jump in this one or this one, and like do a few different ones.
That's what I'm hoping to do. Like, I'm literally the same. I've seen loads of my clients do it, and I'm like, I fucking envy the fact that you've done that. And you know what? The better and the more you show your face, I hate to say it, but not the better the chances, but unfortunately, psychologically, if you know someone who's been on stage already, you know them, you look to them, it is a very good way. You have to be, you can't like, unless you've got a fucking killer physique, like, it's very political in the fact that you also need to be known by the judges for them to also even look at you.
Yeah, and I also think it's just a fun thing to do when you've worked so hard, just to be able to go on and like
just do 2 shows. You want to do more?
Yeah, 100%. So I just feel like I want to just enjoy it a bit, but I don't know what's going to happen show-wise because I don't know what the whole thing is with like losing the pro card or whatever. So
but maybe you could just gain it back. Like you could,
you hope so, but I don't know.
You could just gain it back, but like depending on what they obviously offer. But yeah, I feel like that's one thing, like with pros, like it's great, but then that's it, you're done. You can't, like with any pro, pretty much, like that's it, that federation. And I just wouldn't mind it, but I'd also feel really restricted.
Yeah, because it's like all the shows, obviously there's like FitX, there's like NFM, you know, there's all the ones that have really cool like avenues you can go down. But obviously with the PCA shows, like they are late next year, like the World is mid-November.
Yeah, so like
right at the end of the season.
Yeah. So if you compete a bit earlier, you would have a bit more of a variety.
Yeah.
But you never know. That's exciting though.
Yeah, but I definitely know. Pardon?
Competing in Spain.
Yeah, I know. So I'm definitely going to do those 2, but then we'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to happen around it yet.
I'm excited.
Dan's pretty chilled. It's like, we'll just like see what happens.
Oh yeah, just go with the flow. I think that's the best way to be though. Like have shows lined up, and then if you do it, you do it. If you don't, you can just go too far with it, and you can place too much pressure on yourself. And this is the thing. Like I think you should just do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, 100%. I think, because last time I competed, I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna go for this for, because obviously I'm 20, I'm gonna be 27 right next year.
Mental.
So, no, I can't believe it. I'm a dog mum. I don't know why that was relevant. So I'm going to be 27 next year. So obviously in a female, obviously there is a limited time frame with it, right? Especially if you want to have a family, there's like a limited time frame you can do this. So in my head, I'm like, how far do I take this until I call it a day? Right.
I don't think you ever will until you get pregnant.
Well, yeah, I'll probably just keep going, but like, add another year.
Yeah,
because I love it as well.
I fancy having a baby.
Yeah,
like, that's what will happen. Like, to be honest, I'm like very much in the same predicament. Like, I don't even know how far I want to take it.
Yeah,
I don't even know how many years I want to take it, but I am taking each day as it comes. And
that's
if I'm pregnant in 2 years' time, That's it. I'm done. I am not competing when I have kids. There is no chance. Like,
no, I've said this as well.
Especially like two of the parents, if they were in competitive bodybuilding, like as soon as I have kids, that's it. But the good thing is I'm not looking to have kids until I'm probably around your age.
Oh yeah, well I'm definitely not ready.
No, it's not.
No, not on the table. I feel like I've got too much I need to do yet. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to take each year as it comes. If I'm enjoying it, I'll keep going. If I get to the point where I'm not enjoying it, I'll stop.
Yeah, and that's how you should be. That's how you should be with anything in life. So
I'm just going to roll with it 1 year at a time and just basically see what happens.
Here, aged 37, still competing, monsters bikini.
Oh God.
Dogs yapping in the corner.
Sausage dogs have come to support.
Honestly, it will be that.
I think I can bring them to my show.
You know what? I think in some venues you would be allowed, but it'd just be very odd.
Oh God.
But it would be quite cool. Just like, to be fair, you had a massive group at the Universe. I've never seen a crowd so big.
You know what? I wish, looking back, right, I wish I'd really just been more present in that day, because I feel like, because that was when the launch was going off with the business as well, right, with Undivided, and I feel like I was so engrossed with that. I like competed and I was like, right, onwards we go, and I like didn't absorb it.
That was incredible. I literally was sat there and I was like, who the fuck are they? I was like, who the hell are they supporting? And then they announced you as a winner. I was like, right, Leah, fucking hell. How many bloody supporters have you got? I was like, that is so many. I was like, that's incredible. I was like, that is a ridiculous amount of support. And that just goes to show how you are as a person, that people are willing to support you like that.
Oh, it was just, it's just so unexpected as well, because I had like clients there. I had like...
I didn't realise how many people.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people there as well from like the British, because it wasn't that far after the British. So I feel like there was a lot of people in like bodybuilding that I knew there as well. And it was
it was quite big, the Universe.
It was just the best, like, literally the best ever. But I just, looking back, I'm like, next time I'm going to really make sure I'm like,
in the moment.
Yeah, and like just enjoy it, rather than like being like, must get back to work right now, you know.
I'm gonna full on take like days off after. Like I am like, I was very similar to you, but almost just because it went so quick. That's it. Like, and that was that. It was done. Show day's done. I definitely had show day blues. Like I do now. I want to go on stage right now.
You look back and you're like, oh, it's just so good, don't you?
Like, it seemed like so long, but the prep was so quick.
Yeah. It's weird because you're like building up for so long, and then it's like, it's done and you're like, oh, what happened?
Oh, a day. Brilliant. That was it. 10 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
Q2 grand prep.
That was so much money.
That's cheap for a prep.
Yeah.
That's actually quite cheap for a prep. That's like 2 shows minimum.
Yeah. Although I have actually been organised this year and got my bikini in a not, but I've paid the deposit in the sale, because I was like,
like you've got to save pennies. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so next year is going to be exciting because there's lots of business stuff going on. There's lots of prep stuff going on.
I feel like next year for me and you is going to be incredible, and we've got a lot of things planned. Like, you know, we've got this we're going on a podcast together, and we've like definitely built our friendship a lot throughout this kind of process.
And we're training soon.
Yeah, we are. So,
well, we will have trained actually by the time this comes out. Maybe we can do that on YouTube as well. Actually, that might be cool.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, lots of things are going on between ourselves, but we've also got a few things that we're excited about together, which I'm kind of looking forward to when it comes to it.
Me too. I'm excited. So fab. That was a good chat.
Yeah.
Do you want to just say your Instagram handle, just so everyone knows?
I should have said that at the start.
I'll put it in the notes.
If you want to follow me, which you definitely should, it's Sanaya Fitness _. Now, if you don't know how to spell Sanaya, it's SANIA. It's probably in the, I don't know, in the line or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, when I first started following you before we'd like ever spoken, I used to call you Sania.
So does everyone else, and it actually irritates me now. Like, everyone's like, I thought it was Sanya, and I'm like, that's not even a nice name. That's like an annoying Sonia. Why would anyone name their kid Sanya? It's like Tanya. I'm sorry if there's any Tanyas out there, but it's
I've
just
got... Oh,
it just flows off the tongue.
I know it does now, I realise, but
well, everyone,
that was a long time ago.
Honestly, rages me. And also, if you want posing, now you've kind of gotten to know me, it's Sanaya Fitness posing. So pretty simple. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. It's been really nice to just chat, because most, like you said, most podcasts are like questions and stuff, and
yeah,
you know, we're just here to chat. And then if people actually want to dial into what we talk about, then they're more than welcome to.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this has been fun. So there will be more, hopefully, pending, we'll see. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I feel like I've had a good chat. Yeah, follow us. We're gonna be soon. Yeah, fab. Thanks, guys. Bye.